Welcome to Faith in 5, a weekly video devotional designed to discuss practical spiritual concepts in 5 minutes or less. I'm your host, Mark Vandellen. When I used to do student ministries, I tried to be all places all the time, and it was actually kind of a part of my training when I trained with Young Life. Young Life really helped me see that our action should be as close to that of Jesus. And so one of the things that Jesus did was he went where people were. Like he got in their lives and spent time with them. And so when I did student ministries, I always tried to go to as many events as possible, whether it was sporting events, musicals, dramas, band gigs, whatever it was, I tried to be there. But as I started to grow in the church and had more and more students, I realized that these students were just spread out. They were from 7 or 8 different schools, and I also didn't have enough leaders that we could maybe have a representative from each ministry there. And so what started to happen was somebody would say, "Hey, are you going to come to my play tonight?" And I'd say, "Yeah, let me check, and I think I can make it." And sometimes I would think, I'm not going to make it, but I would just kind of lob that out there. Or sometimes I had good intentions to make it and I just didn't. Something else was going on, or I hadn't communicated my schedule with my wife and there was a conflict. One time I had a student say, "Hey, are you coming to my game?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem, man, I'll be there." And then the next time I saw him, the same kid asked, he said, "Hey, were you at the game?" And I said, "Yeah, man, you played great." He said, "I didn't play at all. It's what I was hoping to talk to you about, but clearly you weren't there." Right? So I was brokenhearted because the very reason that I was saying I was going to these games is because I was trying to show them that there was somebody beyond themselves and somebody beyond their parents, and somebody that cared about them. My goal was to represent Jesus by going with them and going to them. And now I had misrepresented God. See, the 9th commandment is, it's in Exodus 20:16. It says, "You should not testify falsely against your neighbor." No false testimony. Essentially, it's saying, do not lie. Don't embellish stories. Don't say things that you don't intend to carry out. Don't say things that are not true. And see, I inadvertently lied to my friend, and I didn't mean to. I didn't intend that, but at the same time, because our words, if we look at the reason that God gives us the commandment, our words are a representation of God. And so when we lie, when we tell lies to others, when we tell stories to others, we're misrepresenting God. I think if you take it one step further, there are definitely 2 places that we misrepresent God, and one is obviously with others when we lie, but we also lie to ourselves. We believe lies about ourselves that the world tells us. We believe lies about ourselves that we tell ourselves. And in that moment, we really undervalue God. We undervalue the fact that God created us and that he created us in his image. See, Ephesians 4:29 says to let no unwholesome talk come out of your mouth. Instead, build others up. Very outwardly, we are to use our words to benefit others, to build others up, to be truthful. Even if there's some sense of maybe this won't be true, be honest about it. If we were all honest all the time, then we wouldn't have to keep a record of what we might have said and who did we say what to when. So to others, be very intentional with your words. Consider how you treat them and what you say to them, and then honor that word because you represent God. But some of us might even struggle more with what we tell ourselves, the unwholesome talk that we allow to happen inside of our head. We don't build ourselves up either, which then, in turn, doesn't allow us to build others up very well. So be careful about what you say to others, but also be careful with what you believe you tell yourself. Don't believe the lies that you tell yourself when you look in the mirror. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to follow us each week, click here to subscribe. And if you want to take it a little bit further, click here for discussion materials.